So, hi guys, welcome to the channel Learn Concepts with Nikhil, Discover, Learn and Grow. So, in this particular video, you'll be learning about software requirement documents. It's not document, it's documents. 1 minute, guys. Yeah, okay. And now, yes, it's documents. There are different types of software requirement documents. So these are nothing but like we will be documenting the requirements, right? We cannot say the requirements just in air so that everyone will be remembering. We will be documenting every requirement as per the software requirement, right? So yeah, there are majorly three types of documents. One is BRD. BRD stands for first we'll be learning about software requirement documentations. There are actually three types of documents. They are nothing but BRD, FRD, and SRS. SRS is also called as SDD, I think so. Yeah, BRD stands for Business Requirement Documents, where you will be giving the foundation of the project, foundation of the software, or foundation of the product, right? You will be foundation requirements of the project. Next, FRD. FRD is nothing but it has some detailed breakdown, and SRS is something, or SRS, full form of SRS is Software Requirement Specification, and SRS is something which will be built by the technical team or a technical architecture team by consulting business analyst, right? SRS is also called as SDD, that is nothing but software development or software design document, right? We'll be learning about all this we'll be learning about all these in detail in the further slides, right? Yeah. So first one is first I'll be saying about the software requirement documentation. It is called as requirement documentation only, but as we are working for software IT industry, so I kept it as software requirement documentation. So software requirement documentation is a formal document or for not a formal document. It's a sorry, is not a one document, but it has multiple documents, right? In requirement documentation, there will be multiple documents or different formal documents that outlines the complete set of requirements of a software system. So we will be documenting every requirement after refining. Actually, we have done a requirement gathering. After that, we have cut off some requirements and we have done requirement refining, right? After that, we will be documenting every requirement in some documentations, in the form of some documentations. As it said, outlines the complete set of requirements. We will be documenting every requirement for a software system, right? It serves as a guide for developers, testers, designers, and stakeholders throughout the project lifecycle, right? So these documentations, right? There are different types of documentations like BRD, FRD, and SRS. These all documents will be serving as a guide in order to build the perfect project and the product, the software product. So the purpose of SRD is define functional and non-functional requirements of the system. As I said, you in the requirement analysis phase, we will be categorizing the requirements, right? Functional, we will be categorizing into functional, non-functional, as well as stakeholder business needs, business requirements, and all those, right? So these documents helps in categorizing and documenting the requirements. Next is ensure clear communication between the stakeholders and the development team. So these documents will be helping and will be guiding the development team. Like it will be like stakeholder or our client will be having some kind of a goal or objective, and these documents will be perfectly guiding, perfectly translating those objectives to development with the help of this documentation. So documentation is very important. We cannot directly say in the air, right? Like ye karo wo karo karke we cannot say like that. So we have to perfectly draft and craft the documentation so that it can guide and it can the idea or the what we can say the objective of the client can be perfectly translated to development team with the help of these documentations as a acts as a blueprint for development, testing, and deployment. So, developers will be developing the product, software product or project based upon this SRD document only, requirements document. Testing will be doing testing based on the documentations only, and deployment also will be done based on this requirements document only. Next is helps in risk management and project planning. By having clear goals, we can clearly plan the project, right? This is the overview, overall idea of requirements documentation. Next, we will be going into documentations, actual documentations, right? First one is BRD. BRD stands for Business Requirement Documentation. So BRD defines the high level business needs and objectives of the project. It describes what needs to be achieved rather than how it will be implemented, right? It is quite intuitive. You can understand by reading only, but I'll try to explain. Like business requirement document in business requirement documentation, you'll be having high level needs, right? You'll be having the clear objective. We will be having the clear objective of the project. For example, I want to build an app. BRD will be containing like those objectives. It will be giving the high level business needs, but it won't say how we will be achieving. We will be learning about FRD, functional requirement document. A functional requirement document highlights how we will be achieving the product. But BRD will be highlighting what we will be achieving in the product or project, right? So yeah, basically BRD acts as a foundation, right? It acts as a foundation and it acts as a reference to all the stakeholders. They can understand ki, okay, this is the project we are building, we are going to build karke. It will be acting as a foundation. It will be acting as a major idea to build the product for all the internal stakeholder teams. So this is about BRD, and the purpose of BRD is align stakeholders on business goals and expectations. So every stakeholder will be getting to know, okay, like we are building this product karke, we are building this project or this software karke. If the stakeholders doesn't or does not have the clear idea about the goals or the software product which we are or which they are building, they cannot build it perfectly, right? If they have the clear understanding of the product or the project or the software which they are building, they can give their 100%. So BRD acts as an bridge. BRD acts as an bridge. It clearly, what we can say, it clearly translates. It clearly makes them know ki, what are the business goals and what is the product you are going to build karke. So next is provides a foundation for project scope and requirements. So it will be acting as a foundation, right? You will be getting to know if, for example, in the BRD, the objective is to build a fintech related app. Then the scope will be easier, right? We will not be building requirements, or we will not be building user stories or futures, which is related to marketing, which is out of scope. We will be building only finance related futures or user stories, which is in the scope, right? So this BRD acts as an foundation for all the stakeholders and also for requirements. Next is helps in decision making and project planning. So we can make decisions based upon the BRD as well as project planning. In the next video, we will be building one practical BRD. Practical BRD. So yeah. And next, it serves as a reference for the development team. Not only development team, but it also serves as a reference for every internal stakeholder like design team or testing team or deployment team. And it acts as a reference for all the teams. That is about BRD. BRD gives a high level objective, but it will not say how we will be implementing the product. It will be only saying what we will be implementing, what we are building. We are building software product. How we are building that we will be learning in FRD, functional requirement document. So, okay. Sorry, guys. This is actually not BRD. This is FRD in the next slide. Functional requirement documents, right? Yeah. So first we have learned about what is the software requirement documentation. So like how many kind of software requirement documentations are there. Next we have learned the first documentation, that is nothing but BRD. Now we will be learning about FRD. A functional requirement document or a FRD describes how a system or software application should function to meet the business needs, right? So BRD has talked about what are we building and what is the project about. FRD will be talking about how we will be building the software or how we will be building the functionality of the product or software, right? It describes about how. BRD describes about what. Functional requirement document or FRD describes about how we will be building the system. So it provides a detailed breakdown of system behaviors, user interfaces, system functionalities required for development, right? In FRD, you will be having the high level view or high level objective, but in BRD, you will be having detailed breakdown of everything. How we will be building the software. What are the user interfaces? What is the data flow? What are the functional and non-functional requirements? Karke. So purpose of FRD, it defines the system functionality. It clearly defines the system functionality, outlines how the system should work, including features, workflows, and interactions, right? So it defines everything about the software, how the software should be built. Karke. Next, bridges business and technical teams. A technical team will be understanding the business goals easily. For example, in BRD, technical team understood the objective. Now the technical team will be understanding the functionality too. How the business wants it to functional, right? Vice. Next, supports testing and validating. So testing team and validation team, that is nothing but testing team only. They will be testing based on this FRD, like based on these requirements only, they will be testing the product. And if there are any issues or any things which are out of the scope, they will again assign it to development team. Next, prevents miscommunication and scope creep. As I said you before, scope creep is nothing but if the project exceeds the timeline, it's called scope creep. And it prevents miscommunication too. You will be having clear requirements in the FRD, right? You will be having clear breakdown of how the system should work, how the system should be built. Karke. So yeah, this is about FRD and BRD. And BRD and FRD are written by business analysts or product managers, right? Not product managers. Product managers will be writing PRD, but product managers will be writing PRD. PRD stands for product requirement document that we will be learning in the product management course. But now, as a business analyst, we will be creating BRD as well as FRD. 1 minute, guys. So yeah, so business analyst will be writing BRDs as well as FRDs. So let's discuss one more point. The major components or the key components of BRD are executive summary, where you will be having the giving the summary of the app. You will be first is executive summary, second is business goals and objectives, and third one is user needs. In our case, their client needs. So we will be writing about this. These are the major key components of BRD. First is executive summary, second is business needs and goals, third one is user needs are the key components of BRD. When coming to FRD, it will be more functional, right? This documentation will be more functional. So we will be writing about the key components of FRD are data requirements, functional and non-functional requirements, as well as we will be having a UI and UX type requirements too. So these are the major components of functional requirement documentation. And BRD will and FRD will be written by business analyst. And software requirement specification, this is not the responsibility of business analyst. This is the responsibility of technical architect or technical lead or some technical related managers. This is the responsibility of them, but they will be consulting us as a business analyst. They will be consulting us, and they will be taking some of our inputs, and they will be building this SRS document. Uh, don't need to explicitly know about this SRS document, but if you have an idea about SRS document, it's well and good, right? So yeah, let's learn about SRS document. SRS stands for Software Requirement Specification, and sometimes SRS document is also called as SDD. That is nothing but Software Design Documentation or Software Development Documentation. I forgot the name, but one in those two only. So SRS is a detailed document that defines the functional and non-functional requirements of a software system. It serves as a contract between stakeholders and development team, ensuring a clear understanding of project expectations. So it will be more detailed, which will be understanding to count what you can say a development team. Purpose of SRS. Define what the system should do in a structured way. So it will be somewhat technical. Uh, acts as a single source of truth for developers, testers, and stakeholders. SRS acts as the major guide, right? Even BRD as well as FRD acts as a guide, but This acts some more technically, and this acts as more like it will be guiding them more. Next is reduces misunderstandings and project risks. Okay, helps in project planning, testing, and validation. Right. So this is all about three types of documents: BRD, FRD, and SRS. BRD and FRD is the responsible of is the responsibility of business analyst, and SRS is the responsibility of system architect by consulting a business analyst and project manager, not project manager. So in the next video, we will be creating a BRD, right? Business requirement document. Then after we will be creating a FRD2, right? Yeah, finally we are jumping into practical sessions, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next video.